Hi everyone, welcome back to Half Magic Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is Who is thinking about you and why? There are 4 piles to choose from here, and I suggest selecting your pile based on the pile marker that sparks a memory in you. So for example, I would choose pile 4, Flirt, because the background on this card, the pond or the lake, whatever it is, the trees, reminds me of the Abbey I just visited with my friend Madison. Shout out Madison. It was really beautiful. We took like a nature walk last month, and so that is why I would choose my pile. I'll put the timestamps in the description down below, so feel free to pause the video to select your pile now, and let's get started. If you selected pile 1, Soulmate, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out who is thinking about you. So we start off your spread with this 8 of Pentacles, and immediately what I'm picking up is that this is someone that you met in an environment where you were being very productive. So for most of you, this was probably in a workplace. If you're younger than that, it might have been at school. It might have been at a place where you make some kind of money. Maybe you're someone who sells like crafts at like fairs or festivals or something. But I think for the majority of you, this is someone that you met at work or at school. And it was someone that you got along well with because you kind of had that shared background, whether this is, someone that you were doing the same job as, or you were studying the same thing in school, or you worked on like a group project together, whatever it is. This is someone that you were generally getting along well with, and you had to spend a lot of time around them, and so your relationship was really growing. That being said, I do think that this is someone from your past. I really get the feeling that this is someone that maybe you had some kind of romantic connection with. So this could be someone that you did date but are no longer dating, or someone where you kind of had a really will they, won't they dynamic with, and it felt like maybe you were being strung along. Maybe this was like a situationship dynamic. Whatever it is, this is someone from your past, and that's coming through with the 6 of Cups, which can be a card that is literally about someone from your past, someone that you were with when you were younger. And I think this person in particular thinks about you a lot because they are kind of reminiscing on these very sweet moments that you had together, or the fun that you had together. And the reason why this person has to keep thinking about you, and it's not that they can just come and spend time with you whenever they want, is because I do feel like there was a separation here. And I see that specifically with the 7 of Pentacles in reverse and the 7 of Swords. So 7 of Pentacles in reverse indicates to me that you were putting in a lot of effort to try to make this relationship work or grow. So for example, if you were stuck in that will they, won't they dynamic, you were really like dropping hints. You were trying to make it so that this person wanted to commit to you. You wanted to go on dates. You wanted to spend more time together. And this person was very resistant. It felt like all the work that you put in to be emotionally available and honest and sweet and open was not coming into fruition, because that's really what the 7 of Pentacles is about. It's about putting in all this effort and having to wait for the rewards. But in reverse, it's this realization that, oh wait, no matter how much effort I put into this, it's just not going to happen. Like these, I'm not going to get what I want out of this situation. And so for a lot of you, that's why I do feel like this was more of a situationship dynamic. However, for some of you, this is someone that you were in a relationship with where you felt like you were putting in all the effort. You were the one always trying to set up dates. You were always the one trying to make plans. You were always the one texting first or calling first, or you felt like a burden for wanting to spend time with this person, or you felt like you were the only one that was trying to push the relationship forward, whereas this person was kind of reaching out to you when they wanted something. And I think that made you upset, obviously. You felt like this person was not investing in you. And with the 7 of Swords next to it, I feel like this really represents that person. And if you look at the body language of these cards, because I do feel like you're the 7 of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords person is kind of looking over their shoulder. They're looking back at the Seven of Pentacles person, and they kind of have like a smirk on their face. So Seven of Swords is this card that's all about deception. It's about sneaking away, keeping things hidden. And so I feel like this person liked that you were putting in so much effort, and I think they knew that you were putting in way more effort than them, but they were kind of acting obtuse about that, or they were pretending like they didn't notice, or they were pretending like you were asking for too much, when in reality they knew that their intention was just to get what they wanted from you and to get away. And I think that is exactly how this relationship with this person fizzled out. But that being said, I think that distance from you, or not having access to all of the care and the love and the support, whatever it is that you were giving this person, made them recognize all the ways in which you were really good to them. Which, just to be clear, I don't really think that's flattering. Like I've been in a relationship like this before. Dated this person for 2 years. I can't believe. Where I was basically the one putting in all the effort. I felt like they didn't really care about me. And quite frankly, I don't think they did. And it was like after we broke up, they were suddenly like, oh, you were like the best. You were so amazing. And I'm like, I know, but I don't feel like you miss me. I don't feel like you liked me. I feel like you miss the things that I was doing for you. I feel like you miss having someone who was willing to sacrifice so much of themselves and their boundaries to appease you or make you happy or try to keep you. And I feel like that's the exact dynamic that's going on with this person, because now that they've had this separation from you and they're reflecting on all of the nice times you've had, all of the nice things that you've done for this person, how kind-hearted you can be. Now, at the very end of the spread here, we have the Lovers. They're like, wait, maybe this person and I are meant to be. The Lovers is like a soulmate card. So I feel like this person realized the grass isn't greener in other pastures, and now they want to come back because they're like, actually, we can be together. Like, I think you're the best because you're so nice to me and you do all these things for me. But again, I would not be flattered by this. I don't really feel like it's about you. I feel like it's more about just like the benefits that they reap from being in proximity to someone who is so giving and so generous and so sweet. And I think that's also coming through, like with the pile marker that you selected, which says soulmate, and it says, yes, this is your soulmate. So I'm sure some of you chose this because you thought this was going to be like a very positive reading. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, I think this person, this ex situationship, ex flirtationship, whatever, they are thinking of you as like, this is soulmate potential. They are, very heavily contemplating what your relationship could be. This person could be a Gemini or have a prominent Gemini placement in their natal chart. That's their sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or Venus sign. And I also pulled an archetype card here for kind of more detail about who this person is. And we got Vampire, which says depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. So again, I feel like this person probably made you feel like whatever you did for the relationship was not good enough. You never felt like you could give them enough to make them like really be interested in you or be reciprocal or love you. And I don't know that this person has changed that behavior at all. I think now they just don't have a supply. And so they are really like positively reflecting on you and thinking about how they want to come back. So I would not be surprised if this person reaches out. And I think probably if they do reach out, it's going to be like late at night. Like they're going to text you like a vampire. But I wouldn't recommend going back to this person. I think this person's very heavily romanticizing you and their thoughts right now. But I don't think that it's about you. I think it's about this person wanting to get a fix, of feeling like someone is willing to sacrifice their best interests in order to appease them. So that is it for your reading, my pile ones. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected Pile 2, True Love, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out who is thinking about you and why. So we're starting off your spread with Temperance. And what I'm picking up is that this is a person who I think has a crush on you. For most of you, this is romantic. For others of you, this could be just someone who really wants to be like friends with you, who wants to be close with you. But I would say for 90% of you, I do think this is someone who has a crush on you. And generally, this is someone who contains multitudes. Like, I think a lot of people kind of see this person as being almost like a class clown energy, or kind of being like all like action, or it's kind of like, you know, when you watch like a teen movie and it's set in a high school or secondary school, whatever, and there's like a jock, and people just kind of expect the jock to be like all like fun loving and kind of like a little bit douchey, honestly, or kind of like a jerk or a little bit stupid, but then they have kind of like a lot of depth to them, actually. That's I'm thinking of like an example of this would be like Chad Michael Murray in A Cinderella Story, who I think he's a football player and his dad is like really pressuring him to be big into football, but he's also, I think, really smart. Like, he really wants to get into an Ivy League. It's kind of like that. Like, I think this person gets underestimated a lot because they're really like personable and kind of they have like big golden retriever energy. But this person has really has been trying to work hard to kind of show you that they have other sides to themselves, because they really see you as being someone who's very like spiritually adept, very wise, and so they're really having a lot of patience with this connection. Like, they're really not trying to rush anything. They're just trying to kind of demonstrate who they are to you, like show you their values for their regular interaction, and hoping that you kind of start to see them as like a potential lover or potential friend, whatever it is. But this person definitely is trying to show you the two sides they have in themselves. So the first one is strength. So for a lot of you, this person could be very athletic. This could be someone that like goes to the gym every day. They might be like very physically strong, is something that people notice about them. And because of that, they might kind of get that jockey stereotype, or like people kind of think of them as being a little superficial. But this person actually is really kind. They do have life of the party vibes. Like, people really appreciate when they show up because they have this kind of outgoing energy that injects life into the room. And they have a lot of confidence in themselves. And I think sometimes people can read that as them being arrogant or boastful. But the reality is, with this strength card here, the reason why they have this confidence is because they've kind of had to cultivate it. Probably a lot of these people had a lot of insecurities growing up, or they've been through some like difficult, traumatic life situations. And because of that, they've really had to like be their own biggest advocate and try to learn to like love themselves. And so I think sometimes people don't see like the backstory behind the bravado, but this person does have a lot of emotional depth. They've been through a lot, and they've learned that you know, like, their happiness is their own responsibility. And so it's really important to them to continue to advocate for themselves and to advocate for other people, especially underdogs. Like, for example, if you work with this person, maybe in meetings, if someone is kind of like shy or they don't speak up a lot, and someone else who is kind of a chatterbox maybe talks over them in a meeting, they would be like, wait a second, this person wasn't done speaking. Like, they're the kind of person who really makes room for people who maybe are typically sidelined to be heard, and that's really important to them. And with the Hangman here, they're really not above like putting themselves in uncomfortable situations if it means like helping other people. Like, they can actually be pretty self-sacrificial, or they're very like hardworking, and I don't think anyone necessarily sees that all the time. This actually reminds me a lot of my boyfriend, who kind of had a reputation for being a little bit like grumpy or curmudgeonly, but he's actually so like helpful. Like if someone else needs help, he's the type of person who's willing to work until like 9 p.m. to help someone, because he just doesn't think that like there's a benefit in letting someone else suffer alone. And that's something that I really admire about him. But yeah, this person that we're talking about who's thinking about you has that similar quality where they're really willing to like do things that are unpleasant if it means helping other people. Like it's really important to them to make sure that the people around them are comfortable, are thriving. And I think that this person sees like benefit in that. Like I think it's really important for them to feel like they're in service to other people because it makes them feel like they are like aligned with their life purpose, with their spirituality. Even if this person is not necessarily like overtly spiritual, I do feel like this person really thinks a lot about what their legacy is going to be, what kind of mark they want to make on the world, how they want to like maneuver through the world, what kind of life they want to live, what kind of impression they want to give to other people. And so it's really important to them to be approachable, be patient, be aligned with like the highest good for themselves and everyone else around them. And with the King of Wands here, I do think this kind of represents just how people see them, which is, again, very fun, very approachable, maybe athletic, usually very attractive, I will say. This person could be a Leo or have prominent Leo placement in their natal chart. And to a lesser extent, I'm also picking up on Sagittarius and Pisces here. So those could be other placements. Maybe those are like other planets. Maybe they're like a Leo sun with a Pisces moon or something like that. But again, the King of Wands is someone who is very action oriented, very compassionate, very reliable, very loyal. And if you look on this card, we have this lizard, and in Wands cards, the lizard that's used on these is actually one that can survive in very like high temperatures. And so it's kind of a commentary on this person is really good under pressure. This person has really survived through a lot. They have the ability to thrive in really like from outside of distressing events. And so I think, again, the more you learn about this person, the more impressed you are with them, the more you really like their like outlook on life, how kind they are to other people. And I just got another message while I was reading that this person probably has really good hair. So that might be a clue for some of you that this person has good hair. And with the High Priestess at the end here, I feel like this card is supposed to represent you and how they see you, which is why they really want to impress you, because the High Priestess is someone who is very wise, very like independent. And so they might feel like, chasing after you is not going to work. They just need to impress you because they know that you don't like need them. They want to make you want them. They want you to see them as someone who would be a benefit in your life. You are probably a very spiritual person. I mean, you're sitting here watching Pick a Card tarot readings. You're probably very intelligent. You might be someone who reads a lot. You're probably more introverted than this person, which is why I think just like kind of first impression of this person is not necessarily your type or someone that you would think you would normally get along with, because they do seem so like extroverted and outgoing and maybe even a little rambunctious. But again, the more that you learn about this person, the more you realize that you have a lot in common. This person is very wise, they're very patient, they're very thoughtful. And so I think like if this is romantic and you two do end up getting together, I think people might be kind of surprised by the connection, because it seems like you two are kind of opposite personalities, but in reality, you two really get along well. You have a lot of things in common. And I think that this is like, if you're listening to this right now, I think you probably know in your gut who this person is. And I do think that this is going to blossom into like a relationship or a really nice friendship if this is more on the platonic side. And that's all coming through. Also, in the pile marker that you selected, what says true love, this is the romance of a lifetime. So again, I feel like this is kind of slow moving right now. This is just kind of getting to know each other stage, is what it feels like. But I do see that this will be a very long-lasting relationship, whether that is romantic or platonic. And I also pulled an archetype card here to get more information about who this person is. And we got visionary, which says capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. And so I think that really describes who this person is. I think they're very like forward thinking. They're always thinking of how to improve things. They're very action oriented. But they're also very like giving. They're very confident. They're very compassionate, and they are always thinking about the people that are closest to them because they are so loyal. But yeah, this is a very forward-thinking person. This is someone who has a lot of ideas that maybe other people have not previously thought of. And this is someone that people find to be very reliable. So this is a really beautiful reading. I mean, I suggest moving forward with this person. See where it goes. I think this will be a very beautiful connection, whether it is romantic or platonic. So that sounds good. Thank you, my pile twos. That is it for your reading. Thank you again for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected pile 3, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out who is always thinking about you. So we're starting off your spread with this 9 of Swords, 6 of Swords, and Judgment. And I see these 3 cards together kind of showing a story. 6 of Swords is really like a transition card. And if you look closely at the imagery of this, it's this person that's in a boat and they're kind of looking toward the left. And on the left side of them is this very smooth, calm water. And on the right side is this very rough, choppy water. And even the sky is like a little darker over on that side. And so when I see this come up in a tarot spread, I kind of read it as transitioning from the card on one side to the other. And so it feels like with this, on the right side, this rough, choppy side, we have Judgment. And this is kind of like a call to action, feeling like something is maybe your purpose, like you have a higher reason for doing something. Maybe it's your like life purpose, you feel like. And so it feels like this person maybe thought that they needed to turn their back on the connection with you, even though it felt very like faded. I mean, I see Judgment, especially in cards about relationships, and I don't mean just like romantic. I mean familial, platonic, as being like, yes, we're meant to be in each other's lives. We're meant to teach each other something. And it feels like because this person had maybe some underlying resentment toward you, maybe they weren't emotionally mature, maybe you got into an argument, they felt like they were going to turn their back on the relationship with you. And in doing so, they thought they were going to move over toward this smoother water, that their life would improve, the grass would be greener on the other side, etc. But to the left of this card, the 6 of Swords, we have the 9 of Swords, which tells me that this is something that keeps them up at night. 9 of Swords can be a card that's about insomnia. It's a card about anxiety. And if you look at the imagery of this card, it's this person who's kind of like sitting in bed, holding their head, crying, and they've got what looks like these kind of ghostly figures haunting them almost. And so it feels like you really haunted this person. The things that they did to you haunts them. And so for a lot of you, this could be like a friendship breakup. Maybe this is someone who was like your best friend and you really put a lot of trust into them, and maybe they were jealous of you, they were resentful of you, maybe they were petty, they were emotionally immature, whatever. But maybe they betrayed your trust, maybe they spoke poorly about you behind your back, maybe they cut you off without any warning, maybe they ghosted you. And at the time, they felt like they were doing the right thing, or they felt like they were in the right. But as time progresses, I do think that this person feels a lot of regret over how they treated you. Like I said, for most of you, I'm getting that this is more of like a former friend, not so much a romantic partner. But for some of you, this could have been a romantic partner who, maybe they broke up with you for something that was kind of petty. Like I just heard like one of those Reddit posts where maybe there's a guy and he's like, I really love my girlfriend, but I really just want to boink other people. Should I ask for an open relationship? And then maybe he does, and the girlfriend's like really resistant at first. She's not into it, but then she finally gives in, and then she's getting all the play and she's getting treated like really well by other dudes. And then he isn't getting anything at all because he severely overestimated his like ability to pull. And then they end up like breaking up because he's really like resentful over that. So that's just like an example. I mean, maybe that happened to one of you, but it feels like that. It feels like this person almost like wanted to have their cake and eat it too. And they were really resentful that you ended up being more successful than them in some way. And again, it doesn't have to be romantic, can just be a friendship. But I think they really regret the way that they treated you because they have matured a little bit. And that's also coming through in the last two cards in the spread here, which is this Justice and this Devil. So I feel like this person almost feels like their life has gone downhill since they betrayed you into their friendship, their relationship with you, whatever. I think this person does feel like they've kind of been receiving some karmic justice, and because of that they've been reflecting a lot on their behaviors. I think they are trying to be more fair in the way that they approach their relationships, and then the way that they like speak about you and think about the ending of whatever relationship that you had. And with the Devil here, I think it's really like gnawing at them. I think they are kind of ready to break free of the chains of their own like bad behavior, because the Devil can be this card about really marrying yourself to self-limiting beliefs, marrying yourself to destructive behaviors. So if this is someone who has always, never really taken accountability, this might be them realizing, oh wait, me never taking accountability, or me always, treating people like they're options in my life, or whatever the situation is like a choice that I'm making. This is not something that I have to do, and actually my life would be better if I did put the locus of control in my life and in my relationships within myself, instead of acting like, it's other people's fault my life went downhill, because it's always the result of like a series of choices and decisions that I made. And so again, it feels a lot like this is someone that you maybe used to have some kind of relationship with, it, probably a friendship, probably a best friend, who for whatever reason betrayed you, dumped you, broke up with you, whatever it was, and probably because they felt resentful of you, they felt jealous of you and your success, and it did not turn out better for them. They were just like a loser by themselves then. And so then they've been really reflecting on their behavior, and they're like, wait, maybe it is my fault. And so it feels like this person's thinking about you a lot because they want to reach back out to you and apologize. I think that's also all coming through in the archetype card that we got here, which is Companion. This says loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness for the light attributes, and for the shadow attributes, betrayal by misusing confidence, loss of personal identity. So again, I think this is, for most of you, someone that you considered one of your really good friends, and then they betrayed you some way, like you put a lot of trust in them, and they maybe talked badly about you behind your back. They told people things that you didn't want other people to know, or they kind of resented you for being your own person, or having your own goals, or accomplishing things that they felt like they couldn't at the time. And so with your pile marker, your Romance Angels Oracle card, we have very soon. This says, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And so I feel like this is kind of a message that this person intends to reach back out to you soon. They'll probably reach out to you. They're probably going to want to try to see what your life is like now. They're going to want to maybe apologize if they've reached that level of emotional maturity. If not, I think they're just going to try to slide back in as if nothing happened. But it's really up to you whether or not you accept this person, but it does feel like they are ready to start taking some accountability with the way that your friendship, relationship, whatever ended. Whether or not you accept that is up to you. So that is it for your readings, my pile threes. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected pile 4, welcome to your reading. Let's find out who is constantly thinking of you. So we're starting off your spread with this 8 of Swords, and I'm thinking immediately that this is someone that you are aware of, like you know this person, you've interacted with them a few times, but you would be pretty surprised to find out that this is a person that is always thinking of you because they haven't really registered on your radar. This is someone who maybe to you doesn't really seem that interested in you. Like maybe you've had a few conversations, but it didn't seem like they were like overly invested in you, because I think this person can come across as kind of like shy or very introverted. And so you wouldn't expect, like you think maybe you had a conversation with them, they go home, they don't think about it anymore, but they are like analyzing every second of it. And I think that would be really shocking to you. Because the 8 of Swords, I mean, the person in this card is blindfolded. So it's almost like you don't really see this person. They haven't registered. And maybe like you do know about them, because I'm feeling like for 99% of you, this is someone that has a crush on you. They're just very shy. And so maybe, you know, you did think when you met this person, oh, they're kind of cute. But then, you know, you had a conversation, you didn't really get any vibes. You haven't really spoken since then. Maybe they haven't made a move towards you. And so you're kind of like, okay, well, they're not interested. And you kind of moved on. But the reality is that this person is actually deeply interested in you. They just have a really hard time expressing that. And I think the reason for that is because this person kind of sees you as being like above them. And that's coming through in the 6 of Pentacles. If you look at the imagery on this card, there's these 2 beggars that are kind of on the ground looking up at this person in a robe who's clearly like more wealthy, who they're asking to receive assistance from. And so I think they kind of see you as someone who is more developed than them. Maybe they think that you're like a lot further along in life. Like maybe you're more accomplished, maybe you're more attractive. They just don't feel like you are on the same playing field. And for that reason, they kind of feel like you are out of their league. And so they haven't really like entertained the possibility that you could also be interested in them, which is what is preventing them from coming forward. But I think from the conversations that you have had with this person, they do feel like you have a lot in common with this 2 of Cups. This is a really positive romantic relationship card. It's about seeing parts of yourself reflected in another person. It's about being emotionally open, feeling like you can trust in this other person. And so there is this kind of mirroring between you two where they do see, okay, maybe you've had conversations where you're like, oh, we have similar interests, or we have a similar sense of humor, or, you know, they really value like this is kind of their life philosophy. That's my life philosophy too, but I still feel like they're out of my league. And so again, maybe you also have some kind of inkling or crush feeling towards this person, but you don't think they're interested in you because they haven't really expressed that. But the reason they haven't expressed it is because they just think that you're so out of their league. They're like, I shouldn't even like delude myself into thinking that that's possible. And the last 2 cards here, we have this 9 of Wands in reverse and the 10 of Wands. And the 9 of Wands in reverse is this card about, 9 of Wands upright is this card about defensiveness, injury. And so 9 of Wands in reverse is kind of like you're still carrying around this defensiveness even if you don't have to guard yourself anymore. And so sometimes when it's in relationships, it's like carrying the traumas of your past. So for this person, maybe in the past they've experienced a lot of rejection, or they felt like maybe they've experienced unrequited love. And because of that, they're really cautious about approaching you. So that's why you're kind of just like stuck in their thoughts right now. Another message I'm getting, and this is just kind of like a confirmation for a few of you, is that this particular person could have just be like recovering from some kind of sickness or injury. Like maybe they broke their arm or sprained their wrist or something, and they're just kind of like getting past that. But that's just a confirmation for a few of you of who that person is. Like I said, they are carrying this pain from previous rejections, from unrequited love, from maybe being in relationships in the past where they felt like they were being looked down upon by their person. But they have decided with this 10 of Wands to move forward anyway. They've been thinking about it a lot. They're like, I just feel like we have so much in common, and I'd kind of be kicking myself forever if I didn't try to approach this person. Because the 10 of Wands is this card about, I mean, you can see it's this singular person. They've been walking this long trail by themselves, carrying this huge sack of sticks. You can tell it hurts their back. It's too heavy. They're kind of like bending over. It's kind of saying, yes, I know that this is going to be like difficult for me. This is emotionally hard to put myself in this vulnerable situation, but I'm going to do it anyway because I need to know if I can reach that finish line. Like I need to know if it's a possibility and I can do this. And so I think they're willing to open themselves up to the possibility of rejection from you because their attraction to you is that strong. So, maybe you're not attracted to this person, and that's okay. You don't owe anyone anything. You can't really explain human attraction, but if you are interested in this person, I think it's a good time to kind of like make that known more through your body language, through your words, whatever, and just kind of open yourself up to the possibility. Because with this 2 of Cups, I do think that there is like a connection here. I just think that it's not one that you have especially noticed because this person is really good at like hiding their feelings for you, even though you're constantly on their mind. And that's all coming through in the pile marker you selected, this flirt. It says extend your lighthearted energy to others. So I think when you do have conversations, you probably make each other laugh a lot. You like enjoy speaking to each other. But this is really saying, I think this person is planning to like openly, more obviously try to flirt with you more. And I think you should also flirt back if you're interested, because I see that there's really potential for a very positive connection here. This person just kind of has to get over their fear of rejection. But maybe that's a lesson they learned through this connection with you. And I also pulled an archetype card to get more information about this person, and we got monk/nun. And if you know anything about monks or nuns, they're kind of supposed to be celibate, which is really interesting. So I think this person probably has not been in a relationship for a long time, and that's another part of their hesitation. I think because they felt so rejected in the past, they've really kind of removed themselves from dating or romance. And so, you might even see them as someone who thinks that they're kind of like above crushes or above dating. Like you don't even think of them as someone who would be like pining because they seem so like stoic. But this person has been pining. They're yearning for you. So I think definitely this person really thinks highly of you and they want to come forward. They're planning to come forward, but they are very scared. So you might have to be a little patient with them. But I think this is a nice connection. I'm not really getting like a specific sign that's standing out a lot to me. Maybe a fire sign here. Leo most strongly, but also Sagittarius and Aries to a lesser extent. So that's a clue for some of you. Maybe this person has a fire sign, sun, moon, rising, or Venus. That's just for a few of you. So I could definitely see it being a Leo of some kind, though, because even though Leos are represented by lions and they're like brave, that's kind of the association. Leos also really care about their ego, and so they kind of hide and lick their paws if they feel like their ego is going to get bruised. So I can definitely see that for this person, them having some Leo placement. But thank you, my pile fours. That is it for your reading. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care.